Bobby Broyles and Tim McDonald here.
Should be a really interesting matchup. Buckle up. If you're not watching, you got some problems.
Bobby Broyles joined by Tim McDonald in studio. Thrilled to continue this week in CA football powered by Geico. All we can say is that the Dukes did it, Tim. JMU took down the mighty Bison of North Dakota State, snapping a 22-game postseason win streak, and now head to Frisco, Texas to play the national championship against Youngstown State on January 7th. The road to Frisco truly did run through James Madison, Tim.
I think the scale and the improbability of the win. Right now, it's hard to understand. It's hard to comprehend. I mean, of course there's excitement, but NDSU's run of 5 straight national championships might never be matched again. I mean, an incredible feat. It's unbelievable when you really think about it. NDSU's first home playoff loss since 1991. That was in the Division II first round. Wow. It speaks volumes to how long and how much success that program has had. JMU, the first ever FCS team to beat the Bison in 19 tries in the playoffs at home. For JMU, it's just another chapter to what right now is a remarkable season. Granted, it's an important chapter and a big chapter, but hopefully it's just another chapter of this storybook year. You looked at plenty aspects leading into the game. We talked about keys, but at the end of the night, everything came back to physicality. I think for me, it was Khalid Abdullah. I mean, the difference, and saves his best game of the year for the best time. 180 rushing yards, 51 receiving yards, and a touchdown as well. Career high 232 all-purpose yards in the 27-17 win. Abdullah had the most rushing yards against a Bison defense since the program's last playoff loss that came in 2010 in overtime at Eastern Washington. I thought the depth of Madison also shined. How many different times did we see big receivers who had played well all season but not really the star guys come out? Brian Shore went 11 of 18 for 3 touchdowns. Kloosterman, Abdullah, the dagger, and then John Miller, of course, that difference maker. It made it a 10-point game with less than 7 minutes to play, took the life out of the Fargo Dome. How many times, did we see Brian Shore escape and somehow make something out of nothing, keep the play alive with his feet and scrambles? That was huge. Not sure if I was more impressed with the offense scoring 27 points and keeping balance. I mean, it wasn't just pass. It was balance. It was run against a very talented and a stout defense, or Madison's defensive performance. I don't know which one you take. I don't know which is more impressive. NDSU averaged 300 yards on the ground in the first 2 playoff games, had a season-low 132 yards rushing. I thought James Madison kept 3 leading rushers, all of them under 100 yards, and in check for most of the game, except that third quarter. But again, hats off. Dimitri Holloway also, career high 16 tackles. I mean, against the North Dakota State team that's pretty good at home, that's impressive in the playoffs to say the least. 10 solo tackles, and then Gage Steele added 11 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and also had a tackle for loss. A true collective and entity and group effort on that defensive front. Still hasn't allowed a passing touchdown, by the way, has the James Madison defense in the playoffs.
Wow. Hats
off as well. You got to give credit. Tyler Gray, sophomore kicker, remember, he missed one earlier in the game. I shook that one off. 2 field goals in the win, including that career-high 45-yarder early in the fourth that helped absolutely turn the momentum. It was 17-17. The Dome was getting loud, but that really brought Madison right back into it. I spoke with you after Friday night's game into the wee hours, talking about the importance of the championship. Remember, a couple years ago, the championship was the week after, but now it's not just 1 week away. I think that's huge. I think it's huge for a number of reasons, especially because you wonder how JMU, the players, everyone's congratulating you on social media. How do they handle that? But time will tell right now. I think that's going to be nice to have it spread out over a couple of weeks to get over the win. But you have to believe that this team right now is going to be able to move on and turn the attention immediately to Youngstown State and Frisco over the next couple of days. What a Christmas surprise, but there's still work to be done.
Tim, we've seen a lot of teams, in particular CA football teams, fail to be able to knock off the Bison since their run started in 2011. But now from a conference's perspective, what does this win mean?
Well, since 2003, let's put it in that perspective. A CA football team has now reached the FCS title game 9 times, with 4 different teams during that span winning the trophy. This is JMU's second trip to the title contest. Of course, that lone championship came in 2004. This will be the first year since 2009 that a team other than North Dakota State or Eastern Washington is going to win the trophy. So think about that. The last so many years, it's either been North Dakota State or Eastern Washington. It finally feels right now, for the time being, that state football strength and toughness has been able to become a reality. From a conference perspective, I know for me personally it's a big deal simply because you have the outright CAA football champion, being able to finally push through that wall that is North Dakota State and have not only a chance, but a serious chance to compete and win a national championship. In no way, too, was this, James U's side of the bracket was not very strong.
Yeah.
This wasn't handed to the Dukes. They have earned everything up to this point, and that's a fact. And I also think it speaks volumes to the path through conference play that only helped prepare and get this team ready to this point. Of course, it's not going to be an easy task. We know Youngstown State out of the Valley is the Valley team, a very good team. The Valley right now, which will be represented in the title game by a team other than North Dakota State for the third time since 2005. Youngstown State, of course, in the 90s, was that team, like North Dakota State, that won so many titles. Youngstown State owns 4 FCS national titles all time, all of which, by the way, came under Jim Tressel in the 90s. Like we said, the Penguins are the only team to reach the title game after playing in all 4 rounds of the championship since the FCS playoffs expanded to 24 teams. So it shows you how battle-tested this team is. First playoff appearance for Coach Bo Pelini's team since 2006. Also the last time in that 2006 playoffs that they beat JMU at home 35-31.
The national title game is slated for noon on Saturday, January 7th. Will be broadcasted on ESPN2 from Toyota Stadium in Frisco. Trust us, we will have much more details breaking down this matchup in the coming weeks. But for now, Tim, give the people a quick preview on the Penguins.
Now, the Penguins, like JMU, Youngstown State went undefeated at home this season and also own a respectable FBS loss, if you can call it a respectable FBS loss, losing at West Virginia in Week 2 by 17 points. So they've played some good teams. They're obviously in the Valley. They've obviously been through the ringer. They've played a lot of quality teams. Penguins weren't really known for their offensive numbers through most of the season. A good team early on, but not really known for their offense, known for their defense. Turned the corner a little bit after a loss at North Dakota State on November 5th. They have gone 6-0 since then and averaged 39 points per game during that stretch. Before that loss, they were 6-3 and only averaged 21.5 points per game. In the playoffs alone, the run game for the Penguins has been the difference. 249 yards per game is the average with 12 total touchdowns and just 6 passing touchdowns. Senior running back Jody Webb, you're going to hear that name a lot leading up to the championship. He's their guy. He's their star player on offense over 6 straight games with over 100 yards rushing as well as over 200 all-purpose yards. Webb has scored all 6 of his touchdowns, granted, this season has come during that span, those last 6 games. So right now, quarterback Hunter Wells is a guy who not a lot of people knew about because he's only played and started the last 8 games of the season, but he's got the job done. Owns 9 touchdowns this season, averages 180 yards passing, which shows you kind of what this team likes to do, set the tone on the ground. 744 total rushing attempts this whole season so far, 34 touchdowns as a team on the ground. A very solid team, especially on defense. Underrated defense that allows 128 rushing yards per game and under 200 yards passing. So you're going to hear a lot about the rushing attack and the defense for Youngstown State. How do you plan to slow down James Madison? Youngstown State rallied at Eastern Washington, a tough place to play for anyone, for 20 fourth-quarter points last week, including, I'm sure everyone saw on SportsCenter, top 10 plays, that amazing touchdown catch with 1 second left to spare. I mean, what a way to earn a spot to the national title for that semifinal win. Beat Samford, Jacksonville State, a very good Jacksonville State team on the road, Wofford in double overtime at home, and Eastern last weekend on the road to cap what has been really an impressive playoff run so far. I think the most intriguing aspect is that Youngstown State, before this playoff run, it was a team that was respected and people believed they could make a run. It's impressive to me that they've made it this far through the teams that they've had to play. Only time will tell, but I know we're going to break down a lot of stuff over the next coming weeks, but it's just exciting again. We don't have to stretch and worry, well, here's the game next Saturday. We have some time. Everyone has some time to kind of look at the two sides of the ball.
And like you said about James Madison, that long break now to the national championship is going to help them. It's especially going to help Youngstown State as well after playing how many games they've played in a row. Remember, folks, head to cafootball.com for continued coverage of JMU's journey to the national championship. Tim and I will be back in the new year diving deeper into all you need to know for the big game.
And you can bet we're going to have plenty of people on the ground from the conference in Frisco, and I'll add this to any JMU fans right now that are on the fence. Well, it's Christmas time. I don't know if I should travel. Trying to save that money for the vacation. Trust us, it's a great experience. Bobby and I went in 2013. We're not speaking for the town of Frisco in any sense, or it's in that Dallas region, but we went to the title game when Towson made it in 2013, and I can say we had a great time, not even just going to the game and the excitement and the pageantry, but it's the days leading up to the game. It's the excitement. It really is a neat experience, and I really love what the NCAA has done by moving this to really a premier game for both teams involved.
Absolutely. From all of us at CA Football, have a safe and happy holidays.